thing I can say as a fighter, and any fighter tested is, you remember something from every fight. Every fight, you take something from this fight and go into the next fight. My record's 9-2 officially, but I fought 12 fights.
Biggest struggle for traveling. Jason was having to go to Memphis, back and forth between here and Memphis while working on planes doing 12-hour shifts.
The rough part is, man, many nights, you know, not having any money, not having any food, you know, just having to make it.
Boxing is the most relaxed sport there is. It's frustration in golf, it's frustration in football, frustration in basketball. Boxing is you, gloves, and another person across from you.
I felt like I needed my own identity. I needed to have something for me.
When you cross the border of any state, boxing-wise, they're going to take care of their own initially. And with Oxford not having its own, quote-unquote, at the time, it's kind of difficult for me to trust who he'd be around. He'd end up getting a fight for fighting someone who probably had 20 or 30 fights. He hasn't had one yet.
After a fight, you might spend your last to get to a place to train or fight. You got to figure out a way to get some medical attention or even just heal up. You just gotta. It's a struggle. It's always a struggle. The more time you spend in the gym, the less time you have to provide at the house. So it's just, you're always wrestling 24 hours in a day trying to figure out a way to not only make ends meet, but to also train and develop as a fighter. Fought a lot, just I guess growing up in the country. You know, with boys, that's all we did was play football, basketball, and normally that ended up in fist fights. Like, it's just so. I guess I always had this manifested rage I never knew where to channel. When I touch my opponent, or when I get hit, kind of lets me know, yeah, this is where I need to be. It's that feeling of beating your opponent, that feeling of winning. I come from a pretty big family. I got 5 brothers. And none of us are alike. All of us have went through adversity at times. My oldest brother spent some time incarcerated. I got 2 nephews that are incarcerated. I got 2 that are graduating college. I feel like I'm just right dab in the middle of the struggle. Just kind of seeing the path that he went down. I think that's always what kind of instilled the fight in me. Just not wanting to go down that same path, so just kind of like struggling and fighting in life to make the best decisions versus to end up in a situation that could cost me my freedom. My most memorable moments would probably be my first fight. Just that feeling of having my hand raised afterwards, like, and just knowing, God, I can do this. I was a featured boxer on Grudge Match. John Berthal asked me, he was like, what brought you to boxing? I had to do something, you know? He said, man, me too. I was like, so he could relate. And because it was weird, it was about 19 boxers, and here I am from Mississippi. I won the Golden Glove, the Mississippi Golden Glove Championship. I've met a lot of people that's fought in Missouri Golden Gloves or Illinois or Mississippi or Tennessee Golden Gloves, but it's rare you actually meet or know someone that's actually that won it. Just knowing that I was the first person that I met in boxing that actually won the Mississippi Golden Gloves recently, that was an accomplishment I remember. My last fight stick with me. I beat a pretty good opponent that's supposed to be on his way to the Olympics. I beat him with ease and put on a good show in his hometown in Memphis. That was one of my most memorable moments. This is a good guy to talk to because when I said I wanted to become a boxer, everybody was like, man, you're crazy. Like, there's no boxing gyms, there's no boxing. Oxford's not known for having brawlers or fighters. Most of the people that know anything about Oxford, they think about the university or football or baseball or some sport. They don't think of fighting.
If you're trying to come in the ranks in boxing in Mississippi, know your regions. If you're in the Jackson, Pearl, and Southern area, hit Louisiana, hit the coast. If you're in the northern Mississippi area, head to Alabama or hit Arkansas and then move your way to Memphis. Initially, we started a program for the community for Oxford boxing. It was free then. And Jason was involved. He wanted to take it to the next level and become a professional, so I picked up the task of training him. Jason's always been athletic, so that wasn't a bad part. The feet were there. It was just a foundation in actually teaching someone how to box with a limited source.
If you hadn't trained in any other towns outside of Oxford, it's obvious you hadn't properly trained for that fight. You say Oxford, they know that's Jackson and Memphis are the closest places to properly train. So if you hadn't been training there, and they would know. they were caught wind or someone would mention you. So it's one of those things, the moment you say Oxford, everybody in the building wants to fight you. And even if they didn't want to fight you, they want to see you lose. I think we've gained respect now, myself being 9-2, producing 2 more fighters that are winners, another champion from Oxford. So but when it comes to boxing wise, I don't know how he gonna stay away from this straight right, because this guy's trained up. This new group of guys, this new era, we're gaining ground day by day or year by year in the world of boxing around here.